Hey, good evening. It's John again, doing what I do, going for Immaculate Grid, trying to get a low rarity score and trying to play a little redemption today. I've missed the last couple. But that's all right. I had a little bit of fun yesterday, even though I got it wrong. I made an educated guess. The category was Minnesota Twins and 30 stolen bases. And I didn't know that I could have gotten it with Chuck Knobloch. I think I had that one down. I ended up choosing Otis Nixon on my second guess, which I really should have gone with because he only got about 2%. I think I mentioned that I thought Carew would have done well. He was actually the highest pick. But I made an educated guess that for Zoelo Versalles, who won the 1965 MVP award, which was a data point I knew. I knew he won the MVP for the AL pennant-winning Twins. They would lose to Sandy Koufax and the Dodgers in the World Series. And I knew he wasn't a power hitter, so he must have been a slick fielder and did something else to impress the voters. So I thought, hey, pretty good guess for 30 stolen bases. Turns out 27. He also led the league with 12 triples and 45 doubles and in total bases. So like between all those things, it's like, hey, that was a pretty good pick, even though I got it wrong. So it was fun to go through the process. I don't know. I have more fun doing that than just memorizing a list of people with 30 stolen bases, but I may have jumped on StatHead because I think 30 stolen bases, that category has burned me a couple times now. So I'll hopefully be better on that one in the future, but pretty much guarantee it won't come up here. I am gonna open it restarted on. So I'm going to open baseball reference here, hit play Immaculate Grid, and away we go. All right. So we got the Brewers, Expos and Nationals, and the Cubs. And then on top, we've got the Braves, the Rangers, and then Hall of Fame. So I have a little bit of an advantage here because I'm a Brewers fan. So I should be able to do decently well on the Brewers categories. Right off the bat, let's look at Hall of Fame. This is one I think before I started making these videos. This is back probably in uh June or so, circa number 175. I selected Don Sutton for Brewers Hall of Fame, and I'm pretty sure I got it wrong. Maybe I might have made a mistake, who knows, but I think at least under the current paradigm, Don Sutton will work. The other answers are Henry Aaron, who plays the last two seasons in Milwaukee. That's not, even though it was just his last couple seasons, he was returning to Milwaukee, which I do talk about a little bit in Baseball's Most Fun Frivolities. Link will be in the description. Um, I yeah, 2 years, but he's returning to Milwaukee. He's a Milwaukee icon. And his number is retired. Number 44 is retired by the Milwaukee Brewers. The two obvious ones are Robin Yount and Paul Molitor. And then you also have Raleigh Fingers. Um, and then Trevor Hoffman will also work. But I think that's it. Just even people passing through. Maybe one day Dave Parker would be a guy if he got inducted one day. But I think Don Sutton is going to be the most obscure. Hoffman's pretty recent. Fingers also has his number retired, and he won an MVP with the team. Sutton came over. Remember when Justin Verlander first came over to the Astros in 2017 for like that last month? Sutton was kind of similar. I actually came over from the Astros. Sutton did. So let's go ahead and put him in. Let's see how he does. Takes 3%. I think that was as good as we were going to get. I think I named all the Brewers All-Stars. Let's see, Brewers and Rangers. I think Jim Sundberg will work. I know Daryl Hamilton will work. Um, Carlos Lee will work. Francisco Cordero will work. Nelson Cruz will work. They're all in the same trade together. Let's go Daryl Hamilton. He usually does pretty well in this game when I select him. He goes sub 1%. And Brewers and Braves. A couple good ones. Ben Sheets would work. I suspect the most popular one will be current Brewer catcher William Contreras. Brewers kind of snuck their way into the trade the Braves executed with the A's for Sean Murphy, and Brewers kind of got in there and managed to snag William Contreras. Still not sure how they did it. I know that they traded some prospects to Oakland, but um, anyway, that'll be by far the most popular, I think. Henry Aaron will probably be second. That's how I think that's going to go. I think an interesting pick would also be Ted Simmons, who plays last few years with Atlanta after having played for the Brewers. Um, Ben Sheets played his final season in Atlanta after playing most of his career with the Brewers. Uh, Another one, Dan Kolb. He was our closer, Brewers closer, circa 2004, and then he was flipped for a starting pitcher whose name Capian, I want to say his name was. He never really panned out. Um, Marquise Grissom is another name that would work here. Um, I've blathered a number of people. I'm actually going to go with the guy that Marquise Grissom replaced, and that was Gerald Williams. And I believe, if memory serves me correctly, I was watching this game. I believe Gerald Williams scored the winning run for the Braves against the Brewers in the Brewers' first ever game in the National League in 1998. Select him 0.2%. RIP, Gerald. All right. Um, so moving on here. Well, I got a good one. This also comes from my book. Um, either I'm trying to remember the order. He's either the first or second player to hit 4 home runs in a game, and that will be Bobby Rowe. Oop, I'm not spelling his name right. Am I thinking of the? Okay, this is embarrassing. I think I must be thinking of. Is it Lowe? Did I just? It is Lowe. Okay, my bad. It wasn't Rowe. It was Lowe. All right, this guy. He did play for both teams. So selecting him. Oh, look at that glorious mustache and that glorious, glorious rarity score. Really, really good. Anyway, yeah, he didn't have a overwhelming career. He did hit really well in 1894, which was the year he hit 4 home runs. I believe he was the first to hit 4 home runs in a game. Um, but so did the whole league. That was the year Hugh Duffy hit 440, I think. And Lowe hit something like 340, which was a little bit better than I think it was about 20 or 30 points above league average. But he had a game where he hit uh, 4 home runs. He'll also work for Braves 100 RBI, so you can save that one for later. Let's see here. I guess I'm gonna come over here. I believe Dave Martinez. I'm feeling pretty good about him. He, I think, played part of his last season with the Braves. He goes sub 1%. Played for the Expos and is now, I believe, still the Nationals manager. I believe I got that right. Let's see here. Rangers and Expos or Nationals. That'll be an interesting one. Alfonso Soriano would work. I think that one will be somewhat popular. I think Fernando Tatis will work. Senior. Pretty confident on that one. Make sure I get the right one. He gets a really good rarity score. And then Texas and Chicago Cubs, Soriano would also work there. That's a pretty good reason not to select him. Jamie Moyer will work, as we learned a few weeks ago, a couple weeks ago. Jamie Moyer hit a bunch of teams all on the same day, but Jamie Moyer's career is really popular. How about Milton Bradley? He led the league in OPS as a DH with the Rangers, and he came over to the Cubs that next year in '09 and proved to the world why he was a DH. I think he was a horrible outfielder. I think Mike Morgan, longtime player. I think he also will work here. Rafael Palmeiro will work. I think Jim Sundberg would work here too. I think he played for both teams. But I think I don't need to be taken crazy. Kenny Lofton will work, as Kenny Lofton likes to do. He'll work. Um, of the names I listed, I have a hunch that Milton Bradley will work the best. Actually, Sundberg would work better if he's right, but I'm not super confident. I'm very confident in Milton Bradley. It's exactly 1%. Maybe I should have gone with Sundberg. That would have gone sub one. All right. I should have no trouble getting somebody for both of these. For the Cubs, some more recent people would include Greg Maddux. Um, Bruce Sutter will also work. Lee Smith was recently inducted into the Hall of Fame. Um, Going a little bit farther back, yeah, Ryan Sandberg. Obviously a great player in the 80s and into the 90s. Um, and then if you go farther back than that, you get Fergie Jenkins, Billy Williams, Ernie Banks, Ron Santo was inducted. That one took a while, but he was ultimately inducted, which makes me all right about going back even further. Um, I want to say actually Ralph Kiner played for the Cubs right at the end of his career. I want to say that was a trade, but I'm not 100% on that. Gabby Hartnett, Cubs catcher for a while there. Hack Wilson will work. He's in the Hall of Fame, all-time single season RBI king. Rogers Hornsby will work. Pete Alexander, Rover Cleveland Alexander, depending on your preferred method, will work. I don't know who all I don't know who all from Tinker Evers to Chase is in the Hall of Fame. I want to say at least a couple of them are. I don't know if I want to roll those dice with one I should really get. Um, let's go Hack Wilson. He would not like he had a big year, couple big years really, but his career was pretty short. He wouldn't normally get inducted into the Hall of Fame, but okay, he takes 2%. Maybe I should have gone with one of those other guys. All right. So what am I at? 5, 6, 7 and change. I probably am not going to go sub 10 on this one, but let's see here. Nationals Hall of Fame slash Expos. Gary Carter and Andre Dawson will work. Tony Perez will work. That might be that might actually be the answer. Tony Perez was inducted, I think, in his last year of eligibility. So was Andre Dawson for that matter, but Andre Dawson was very prominently an Expo. Uh, so was uh, so was Gary Carter. Tony Perez was kind of just stopping in for a couple of years. Um, Pedro Martinez is another one. Um, Randy Johnson will work. I think people are going to know that one. I think Tony Perez will work better than Randy Johnson. Randy Johnson started his career with the Expos. Um, Actually finished his career with the San Francisco Giants and got his 300th win with the Giants against the Washington Nationals, who obviously moved from Montreal. So fun full circle fact for you there. Um, Dusty Baker was the last manager of the Expos slash first manager of the Nationals, or excuse me, not Dusty Baker. Frank Robinson, who is a Hall of Famer, was the last manager of the Expos slash first manager of the Nationals. Baker is not in the Hall of Fame, but he was manager of the Nationals later on. Um, I think that's it. I think I pretty much hit everyone. Frank Robinson would not work, just to clarify. He would not work here. All right. I'm gonna go Tony Perez. I think that's the best answer. And he takes 1% to get me to 8. Oh, I didn't even mention Vlad Guerrero. What am I doing here? Okay. Henry Aaron actually beats out William Contreras. I guess that's a sentence that makes sense when you say it aloud. Um, Maddox leads among Braves slash Cubs. Ernie Banks was the highest grossing Hall of Famer. Grossing? I don't know if that's the right word. Sosa leads Cubs Rangers. Interesting. He played very beginning and the very end of his career with the Texas Rangers. And then Scherzer takes the most here. Let's see. Did I hit everyone? I hit Aaron, Fingers, Sutton, Molitor, Yount. Ooh, Ted Simmons is in the Hall of Fame now. Maybe I should go on with Simmons. And then Hoffman. I forgot to say Ted Simmons. Yeah, he was just recently inducted. Let's see who all the Nationals Hall of Famers. I think I left some off. Tim Raines. Oh, Pudge Rodriguez briefly with the Nationals. Lee Smith was probably going to be the right answer if he played 23 games. And then Larry Walker as well. I think Tony Perez is up there among the best choices, but maybe Lee Smith would have been a little bit better because he was elected on the Veterans Committee. And there's 46 people for the Cubs. Let's just get rid of that. Let's see. Could have gone with Ashburn. That probably would have been better. Lou Brock would have been a good one. Mordecai Brown, Three Finger Brown. That's what he was called. So Chance is in the Hall of Fame. Evers is in the Hall of Fame. Tinker is in the Hall of Fame. All three of them are in the Hall of Fame. Okay, cool. Imagine getting inducted in the Hall of Fame on the basis of a. Well, maybe they're really good. I'll check them out later. But I was saying, imagine being inducted in the Hall of Fame on the basis of a rhyme. Gossage was briefly a Cub. All right, you know what? There were definitely better choices than Hack Wilson, I think. But Hack Wilson still only took a couple percent, so not going to feel too bad about that. All right, cool. Well, had fun as always. Thanks a lot for playing. A little bit of redemption here. I'll play it again on my phone, see if I can do a little bit better on those Hall of Famers. But with that, hope everyone has a great weekend. Enjoy some baseball, and we'll see you again on. Well, I'll play again tomorrow. So talk to you then.